Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. So I thought I'd give you a heads up on some of my experiences when I came out of the army. I came out of the army not a great deal older, 8.5 years later, but not a great older in my head to when I went in at 15 and a half. I didn't find that the army prepared me for anything. Taught me how to play the trombone, and in some coincidental way I actually turned out to be a person who had an aptitude for playing the trombone. Well, what happened? I came out. I was so glad to come out. I was so ready. I'd already tried many different ways, a lot of them illegal, to get out of the army, but they never materialized, and I ended up suffering the whole 8.5 or so years. So when I came out, I was supposed to do, let me see, 6 and 3. I think it was 6 years, which is what I signed for, but that didn't start until I was 18, and I went in when I was 15 and a half. What a con that proved to be. And then when you come out, you go on the reserve. You can be called up again if there is some kind of an emergency, although what kind of an emergency there would be where I would have to go in and play my trombone, I don't know. Anyway, I never got called up. But you're supposed to keep your uniform. You come out with a kit bag and it's got a full uniform. Well, I must have been very symbolic in those days, and the symbol of that uniform was too much for me to carry around, and I had a bonfire in the backyard, and I burned the whole bloody lot, and was very happy to do it. Now, what happened for me was that I'd done this thing where, with the help of the jazz club owner that I used to play in Reading, the guy agreed to sign for me to do a demob course, which is a month's course prior to the end of your service. At the end of your service, you get a month's leave, and then at the end of that month's leave, you're gone, you're out, you don't have to come back. But prior to that, you had to go through all the paperwork. So in order to bring it forward even more, another month, I went and I said to my friend, the owner, how about putting me down for a management training course in the club and the restaurant? And so he agreed to do that, and he signed all the forms, highly illegal I suppose, or not that anybody would care. But instead of going into a training thing for managers, I actually went and joined a band on the east coast of England called the Crackerjacks. And the Crackerjacks did all kinds of comedy stuff, you know, kind of a comedy band. We did jokes and gags and little sketches and stuff, making people laugh. And we did an entertaining show right out on the, I think it was called the Marina then. People would come in and pay, and we'd do a show, and we did, I think, 2 shows a day. So I went there. Now, here was the problem, that my 28-day demob course left me with about 3 days where I had to go back, hand in my uniform. This is, I hadn't got to the burning part yet. Hand in my uniform and sign the papers for going on my demob leave. So while I was away, the first thing I did was grow a beard. Now, I knew that there'd be trouble when I turned up with a beard, so I went to the MO, the medical officer, and I said, I'm having trouble with my skin, you know. I've got some spots coming up, acne, and you know, I'm actually going on demob leave, but I'll have to come back, you know. Can you excuse me shaving? So I don't know whether he had an inkling of what I was trying to get at, but he said, "Ah, sure, you're actually leaving tomorrow. fine. So he gave me an excused shaving chit, which is like a little piece of paper, a little bit like that, and it says Bandsman Flannery is excused shaving, and it's signed by the MO, and it has a date on it. Well, I like to live dangerously. I changed the date, and I forged a new date on there, which would excuse me shaving for 2 months. So, in other words, when I came back with my beard, I had a chit that excused me shaving for another month after that. Well, I had to go from the band. The band had given up on me anyway, because I think I told you I was a sad sack. I mean, they used to see me coming and go, oh God, no. And I was sent over to the company. And I went into the company office, and the sergeant, the company sergeant there said, "What's that on your face?" So, in keeping with my acquired stupidity when asked questions like this, I would answer as stupidly as the question was. It's a beard, sir. I can see it's a beard. Why is it on your face? Well, sir, and then I reached into my pocket, and with my heart in my mouth, my bearded mouth, I showed him. Well, sir, well, he took it like this. Get out of my sight. Yes, Sergeant, I'll do that. And fearing for my safety, I backed out of the office and went back to my room at the band block. So nobody was interested in dealing with me, so I kept my little beard, which was just one of those little goatees like this, and I went on my merry way, and it was indeed merry. So that was my end of my army service in my, as the Americans would say, an army of one. Well, yes, I was an army of one, because I tried always to appear as if I was doing exactly what I was told. And so, if, for instance, when I was at the School of Music, I was walking along, and I was walking along the path, and on the left, on my left, was the officers' dining room, and the windows. Through the windows you could see officers dining, and one of the officers that was on the right, on the second floor, could not attract the attention of the officers in the window. And he said, "Oi, Flannery, knock on that window." Well, obviously implied in that, for any intelligent person, is that you're to knock on the window and say, "He wants you, sir." But I didn't do that because, well, I'm just a stupid squaddy, ain't I, sir? So I went, did as I was told, and then I walked away. The man who had given me the command was enraged. "You stupid idiot! Why don't you tell him that I..." "Oh, well, you said knock on the window, sir." Always, always totally compliant, always so agreeable. "I didn't understand what you said, sir." I found that this approach meant I didn't get bothered so much, because they didn't expect anything from me. One of the officers, one of the non-commissioned officers said, Terence is a really nice guy, but as soon as he puts the uniform on, he's a pain in the ass. Thank you, sir. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.